music fills the air, echoing through the night.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to O.C.S.T.
Bigfoot and stuff.
I'm your host, Harold, and this is Christy. So, how's everybody doing this week? Let's see, we've got Jim, camera that Dawn was the first one in. Blazer.
Wait, I was second.
Yeah, but you don't count. You're the host.
I don't count, guys. Just heard him say it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
Anyway, hey Blazer, hey Sharon, hey Jim, how's it going? Hey Connor, I saw you come in. Can you hear us okay?
Well, I got advertised tonight's show. I was wanting to talk about first time sightings of cryptids and the effects they have on the person who had the sighting. And that could be mental, physical, emotional, and I'd like to have some of y'all come up if you've ever had a sighting or you think you might have had a sighting. Come up here and share your story. I can leave the link for y'all to come up. You're more than welcome to come up and share your story. You don't have to show your face. You can shut off your camera.
We can make funny faces. Oh wait, this is for entertainment purposes only. Yeah.
I guess that would count as entertainment.
What, showing my... Never mind. I'm just going to shush.
Yeah. Connor says I am a funny face.
Yeah, Connor, you are a funny face. But you're my funny face.
So, I'm going to go ahead and start by telling a little bit about my experience, my first experience. I've already let y'all know.
Hi, Ramona.
Hey, Ramona. Tunsi. I already let y'all know a little bit. Well, I let y'all know pretty much my
whole story.
Whole story, not the complete story. I left a few things.
Hey, Goodensaw.
Blazer says, "I think I'm a mushroom. Someone called me a funny guy."
You're a funny guy.
But okay. When I first had my first encounter, my first encounter with a cryptid happened so fast. It was like a 40-second episode, I guess you could say. My what?
Ramona says my great granddaughter is waving at us.
Oh.
Hi.
Oop.
There.
Okay.
So I didn't mean to interrupt you. So continue your story.
Yeah, it was a 40-second Zoom call, Jim. No.
40-second Zoom call.
40 seconds of seeing these two creatures standing next to me, and then walking away, and then not showing back up anytime after that at that location, that I could tell, but but the effects that it had on me, are still to this day, like being more aware of things like that, being able to know and feel when something is around, and 9 times out of 10 it usually is. That 1 time out of 10 where it's not something that's around, it's something that had been around. But as far as mentally, it didn't really do anything to me, negative wise mentally, because I'd been through much worse when I was a child, as far as being introduced to the paranormal. The paranormal itself was more devastating to me, as being a child, and then the extent that they went to keep communicating with me. That was mentally, physically, emotionally, all the above, draining on me.
Do you think they come back to haunt you?
Like what?
I don't know.
Are we talking the paranormal, or are we talking...
the incident you had when you were younger? Do you think it comes back to haunt you?
Well, yeah, because
no, I mean
they were...
now.
No, not now. No, because they don't have have access to me.
Good. I don't want any creatures like that in my house.
They don't have access to me like they used to. Back when they were messing with me, they were messing with a small innocent child, and
I have nothing innocent about you anymore. Sorry.
No, I've learned to recognize things when they're in the area. I've learned to recognize things that are messing with me mentally, and learn to block out what I don't deem right for me.
So do you ever block me out?
No. Dang. Are you a scary paranormal entity or what?
I can be. Just ask my daughter. She called me one of those words earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No calling names on here.
Well, look at that smiley God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it that smile?
The evil,
No, it was,
the evil,
it was
the evil smile, wherever.
The evil paranormal activity is me.
No. Everybody that was my son, whoever, if not everybody knew that.
Everybody should know that. I co-hosted.
Ohio's in here. Ohio has not been in here before, so hello, Ohio.
Medicine Bear Claw says, Chrissy, you're afraid of Satania.
What?
Are you afraid of Satania?
Am I afraid of him? Them? I'm assuming it's Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. If I was afraid of him, I sure the heck wouldn't go out to the woods with you or in the mountains.
Old Bear's den of Bigfoot. The old bear has made it. Good to see you, old bear.
Hi, old bear. Old bears.
Yeah.
Wild Connor.
Wild
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. No, I'm not afraid of it. To answer your question,
I think
Ramona.
you're more afraid of the. You're not afraid of it. You're more afraid of what it. Well, I would say you're more afraid of what it might do.
Until he walks up to me and stands 2 feet in front of me like it did for you, I can't say if I'm afraid of it or not. What I meant was entities is when he was younger. I know that they're not here, those entities or whatever.
You know, like she was saying when you were talking about the female Bigfoot.
Well, not so much the female Bigfoot. I just don't like my backyard, period. And I have never liked my backyard. I don't go in my backyard. Ask him.
She doesn't like to have those eerie feelings. She leaves that up to me to deal with.
Score up and back them down.
Square up and back them down. Well,
no, I don't know.
I could say yes on that, and I could also say no, because when I stood next to the 9-foot tall Bigfoot, and she could have
went like this.
Yeah. And then the dog man like creature that was standing next to her, he definitely could have put his hands around me, and but they didn't. The dog man creature wanted to, but the female Bigfoot stopped him. I mean, I'm literally like this close to how I am to Christy. That's how close this dogman creature was to me, literally.
Huh?
So
You moved the dresser?
Yeah.
So a lot of people would freak out.
I don't know.
A lot of people would freak out and try to reach for a weapon. A lot of people would freak out and try to grab their camera.
Colton.
Or
Let's
run.
Here.
Okay. Me, I just stood there. And waited for them to do something because I knew it just instinct kicked in right away with me. Is I knew that if I moved at all, that creature that was standing next to me could have had me for dinner.
You're too tough and gamey.
Yeah. I should have told him that. But I think he figured it out.
Or stinky.
No, I didn't stink more than they did. Oh no, that creature. Oh my. Ooh. Ugh. Yeah, that creature had its opportunity. It didn't do anything because the female Bigfoot, I feel, was in control of the situation.
Do you feel your female Bigfoot that you had your encounter with on the in October 2012 is the same female Bigfoot that's around here?
Oh yeah, I can feel the same thing I felt from the first one.
So, in other words, she brought her friend Dog Man with her.
Yeah, friend or pet or
Whatever.
or
But I'm saying,
indentured servant. Who knows?
I'm just saying. Tell us the Dog Man and female Bigfoot. Tell us what the Dog Man and female Bigfoot look like. Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's his. Okay, let me reframe. He had this encounter way before we met, so
yeah.
this is all on him. I just know the story because he's told it like 50,000 times.
Yeah, she hasn't got to see one personally.
That close and up. No, I haven't. But go ahead. Sorry.
Now she's had the feeling of something being there, and then I took the pictures, and there was something there.
Just like the same feeling I get in my backyard, but it's a little bit. My backyard's more intense, I guess would be the word.
Well, see, you're feeling you're feeling the energy. There's an energy in the air. There's an energy in the trees. There's an energy with everything around, and you're more perceptive to the energy that everything's given off. So you can feel the slight differences, and that's a lot of the way I feel when I come across something. The female, Older Medicine Bear Claw says, the female has traveled with you, and it's the same female, Satanya, and Dogman will always be with Satanya.
Okay, so answer Mr. Ohio Bigfoot's question. Nope, the other one.
Which one?
Right there. What did it look
Tell
like?
us what the Dogman and female Bigfoot look like. Okay, for those of you who haven't heard my story, you can go back to what episode was it? Episode 3.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It was 3 or 4, but
I've slept since that episode.
to hear the majority of the story, go back to one of our first episodes of Bigfoot and stuff. But to answer your question, what did they look like? Okay, the female Bigfoot, she was I know she was 9 feet tall because she was a foot taller than the shed she was standing in front of. That shed she was standing in front of was 8 feet tall. She was a copper brown color on her hair, and a dark brown color on her skin, and her skin was an oily, shiny, shimmering in the moonlight, because it was a full moon. It was a harvest moon. And I saw everything in detail, and I mean everything. Her eyes, she had brown eyes. Her eyes looked like that of a human. I saw her pupils. She was close enough to where I saw the detail of her eyes, the different colors of brown in her eyes, the black pupils, the white around the edges of the eyes. I saw her, even her eyelashes showed up in the moonlight. So she had light brown eyelashes. She had a high forehead with the cone-shaped head. She had kind of short hair on the top, and then as it went down her head, it got longer, and then it went down to her neck. The front of her neck was bare, with just a little bit of hair sticking out, but it was bare and black. Well, the dark brown oily skin, but the sides of her hair she had like a mane. She had a mane that came down, and the hair was all the way around her neck. Let me get this um, all the way around her neck here, and in the back, and she had a thick mane that went all the way down, almost like a woman's having long hair. It's what it looked like, except she had the face that was a cross between an ape and a human, and literally that's what it looked like. She was a human being with ape-like features, except she was much thicker. Her head was twice as thick as mine. She was 9 feet tall, so you can imagine the proportions of her body. Not much of a neck, because most Bigfoot don't have much of a neck, but muscular. She was a lean muscle Bigfoot. She wasn't skinny, but she wasn't hulked out. You could just see her muscle, just covered with hair, and the hair got longer as it went down the arms. Started out a little short and then got longer as it went down, and then when it got to the wrist, she had barely any hair on top of her hand. So she had human-like hands, but much larger. She had, you could see her breasts. I could tell she was a female. You could see the breasts. They were covered in short hair. And then her belly was even covered in short hair. And then as you go further down, there's more hair. I could tell she was a female because I saw the upper chest.
The girl parts.
Yeah. The lower part was covered because of the long hair. But she had longer hair. She had short hair on the thighs, but then as it went down, the hair got longer to her knees, and then past her knees, the hair was pretty long. And then you got down to the ankles. When you get down to the ankles, it was just like the hands. She didn't have any hair on her feet except for like a human, that is growing hair out of their toes. A little bit of hair on top of the foot. Of course, big feet, because she was a Bigfoot. She had large feet. I would say probably 17 to 18-inch feet. Nasty broken fingernails and toenails. That's what she looked like. Okay. And she's standing next to this Bigfoot-like creature. I cannot say that it was a Bigfoot for certain, but it was either a Bigfoot or I can't say it was a dogman for certain, but it was either a dogman or a hybrid Bigfoot. But it had the classic dogman ears that went out like this and straight up. They were not like ours. They were like a dog's, like a wolf. A wolf that is standing at attention, and it's trying to listen. That's what this thing looked like, and then, but it had a short snout, and the snout almost had like a human nose, but then it came to the point and it had the leathery nose like a dog. It was an albino. It was an albino creature. It had pink skin, with white hair and long, messy, nasty hair, all over. Like, it had the head of a wolf with a short snout. The eyes, the eyes, I could see pupils in the eyes, but the eyes were a glowing red and yellow and orange, almost like they were flame eyeballs, but you could see pupils in there. And the eyes were quite large. This creature had about 2-inch long fangs, canines on the top, and about 1.5 inch long canines on the bottom. Now, the difference was, which was weird to me, the top teeth in between the canines.
Go ahead.
The top teeth in between the canines were jagged.
Like they're gonna tear your head off.
They were jagged. Now the bottom teeth, all the bottom teeth except for the canines, were like human teeth, except large. Now, that's what was weird. I know these things weren't humans wearing a costume. I know they weren't robots.
Sorry.
There were no seams for costumes. There's not any reported 9-foot tall, 7 to 9 foot tall people living in that area, except for there's some basketball players that a couple of them might have been near 7 feet tall. But these things were real. They weren't fake. They weren't puppets. They weren't people in a suit. The stench coming off of these creatures, and then the sweat you could see beating up on their skin, and then the drool coming out of this dogman creature's mouth, and his tongue just flopped out, and he's and the smell of his breath stunk bad. I mean, like, it just bad hygiene. This dogman like creature, like I said, he was 7 feet tall. What? Sounds like John after work.
I'm sorry. Dang it, John.
but this thing, I always tell everybody that he was built like Lou Ferrigno. If you know who Lou Ferrigno was or is, who he played in the past. He played the Incredible Hulk on TV. He was a bodybuilder. He was in bodybuilding competitions, along with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Well, this creature was built like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but 7 feet tall and about 4.5 feet wide at the shoulder, from shoulder to shoulder. Just massively strong. And he was just standing there right next to me, and he's huffing and puffing, and he's just, and his mouth is dropped way open, and his tongue's hanging out, and he keeps looking at me, but he's not turning his head. He keeps looking over at me, and he's clenching his fists as he's standing there, and he's just getting more worked up. She notices it. This female Bigfoot, she notices it, and she stops him. She puts her hand on his shoulder, and then when she realizes that I'm getting upset about it, because I take a step back, that's when she pushed him away. She pushed him away because she knew what he was getting ready to do, and she didn't want that to happen. The same thing happens about 10 seconds later. They walk down the alleyway to the alleyway. He turns around and he's, I'm not gonna. But he's
getting
just
excited.
lets out that roar, and that was the only scary part to me, really. And then she's standing behind him, and she just shoves him real hard. He stumbles, almost falls, but gains his balance back, and she walks it behind him, and they're both walking away, and they're doing the classic turn, but they can't turn their heads to look, so they turn at the waist, and they turn their head as far as they can, but they can't because neither one of them have a neck to turn, really. So massively full of muscle, and it's just so that's what these creatures look like.
I was gonna say, I think you answered his question.
Yeah.
Okay, John has a question. Has anyone ever tried feeding them dog food or chase a stick?
I wouldn't want to feed them dog food because
Oh my God.
I really wouldn't want to feed them on a regular basis, because I don't think that for one thing, them coming around every single day expecting to be fed would be detrimental to them, because other people spotting these things that wouldn't be so accepting of them.
Okay, so I'm going to say hi to some people. Hey, AI Mode. Nice to see you. Hey, Midnight. I see you. Our Midwest Night Watchers. Hi, John. Hi, Griff. I believe it's Griff. Is his name? Griff? Yes, Griff. Who's another person? Savage Lee. Nice to see you.
See a question for me, please.
What? Did I miss another question?
I'm trying to find it. That's not a question. That was.
What was the
See above question for me. You're gonna have to post that question again.
old bear? Let's see here.
Old bears. Yeah, I can't find it.
Sorry, I'm not seeing it. Yeah, post it again, most definitely. But he's old bear's den
AI mode.
has
Good
been
to see you.
investigating for 35 years and known for 40 years now. So that's awesome.
Has anybody ever reported seeing cryptids with rabies? I've never heard of that. I've never ever heard of a report where a cryptid has rabies.
Yeah, and say hi to Mrs. Bear too for us.
Yeah.
I guess yeah.
But now, I was talking about the effects of that. That affected me in a way where I wasn't really freaked out about it. I had a feeling of awe, of course. At first, I was in awe. I was surprised that something like that would happen. But I also felt relieved after it happened that I had feelings of things being around, but I didn't know what they were, because dealing with them at the apple trees, they never made an appearance. They just shook the trees and stayed hidden. My feeling with cryptid didn't come until I started I did my first ever taping of O.C.S.T. for YouTube. Well, I wanted to do a live, but it wasn't possible because I couldn't get a signal out there. And this was the first time I went anywhere with Christy. Yeah, this was when you took me out to the refuge.
Oh yeah, we've been out there quite a few times. That's my happy spot, my happy place.
No, wait, no.
Oh,
this was a month before I went anywhere with you.
Oh yeah.
I went out with a friend of mine.
Jimmy?
No,
No,
it was before Jimmy.
Okay.
No, I was out. What?
John says he thought you were drunk.
He thought I was drunk when I first told him about it. Yeah,
I don't know if you were drunk, if you could remember the detail of that.
yeah, I wouldn't be able to remember.
You wouldn't be able to remember nothing.
Although, any time in my life I have been drunk, I haven't forgotten anything, except for the one time I did black out. But that's another story. Falling upstairs, yeah. But anyways, my first time filming for O.C.S.T. A video. Now, I'd been out there and I made videos, pictures that I took, which was how I started. I didn't make full-fledged videos. I pasted pictures together because you couldn't take video out there at the time. You were only allowed to take pictures. So I'm taking pictures and I'm going by this. I'm going in this camp or picnic area, I should say, just in front of Lost Lake. Well, I go towards the road. There's this clearing in between the picnic tables and the road. And then on the other side, there's a bunch of trees. And then on the other side of the road, there's a bunch of trees and it goes up a mountain. Well, I'm going in there to take pictures and a video. When I start the video and I start talking on the video, which the video should be on my channel, I get this feeling, this overwhelming feeling that something's there, right? And I'm letting people know, I'm getting this feeling. Well, all of a sudden, I hear something in my head that says, stop. So I stop. And then it says, turn around. Don't come in here. So I'm trying to fight it. I'm like, no, I'm going to go in here. I'm wanting to take pictures. And I snapped a couple of pictures. Well, I went and I started the video back up as I turned, and I was turning away, and I was telling people, I guess I got to walk away because something told me to walk away. And I'll come back here at another time, though, to finish this video and all that. Well, I went back a week later. And took pictures and video in there where it wasn't allowing me to go. And I took a picture of a large handprint that was imprinted in the mud because it had rained a lot during that week. Well, no, I'm sorry, the week before. So all that was muddy when I went in there, and then a week later when I come back, I find that handprint, and it's like this. It's like something's pushing down in the mud to keep balance. And then about 6 7 feet ahead of it, I found a couple of mountain lion tracks, mountain lion prints. So I put 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, something bipedal. It just, at some point during the week, chased a mountain lion through here. So whether it was while I was there or just after, I don't know, but it's in the same area that I was. And, things like that will freak a person out. Will freak a person out, like, I could have been here when that happened. And you're like, well, darn, I wish I was here. But then you're thinking, well, what would happen if I was here? And I've been through a mountain lion attack, so to speak. It didn't jump down. It got scared away before it could. But me and my dad got confronted by a mountain lion with her 4 cubs and her mate coming through our campsite. And she was up in the tree, and she got scared off by some white glowing wolf that ran through the campsite. So
Hang on. Old Bears, please tell me what your question is in the chat. I have not seen it yet. There was one question you asked him what it looked like, but
who's mad at?
yeah, I don't know. But he says, my question above, please. Your question. What is your question, hon? I'm trying to see it, and I guess I'm not getting it for some odd reason. And then John asks, how come there hasn't ever been cryptids caught in bear traps, like wolves and wild game and such? But I don't know that question. I don't know that answer. But anyway.
How come there haven't been cryptids caught in bear traps like wolves, bears, and wild hogs are? Because the level of intelligence, for one thing. If these things have any human DNA, which they're suggested to have, then that's one reason why they wouldn't be caught in bear traps. I mean, there are some idiotic people out there that have been caught in bear traps because they don't look where they're going. But
one more thing. Happy birthday, CP.
Yep. Happy birthday, CP.
I know she's not in here, but
Yeah,
I wanted
Cindy
to wish her
Plummer.
happy birthday.
Any of y'all that know Cindy Plummer, and wish her a happy birthday. You can go on O.C.S.T. on Facebook and do so.
I missed where you saw those 2 Sasquatch.
Where I saw those 2 Sasquatch was in Lawton, Oklahoma, 6 blocks from downtown. In the city, in a backyard.
Next to apple trees.
Next to apple trees in an alley. Yeah. Not too far from a canal. There's a city park that has flood drainage canals go through it, and that's where those Bigfoot came from. That's where they travel all the way through. They could travel all the way through the city through those canals.
But we've also seen Sasquatch and Bigfoot. I mean, Sasquatch and Dogman or Dogman like creatures here in Crescent.
Yeah. Since then we've moved up to. I've moved up to Crescent with Christy, and it's the same thing here. They use the same creeks.
They want their
same creeks, but up here there's rivers. So,
Yeah, I live about 1.5 miles from a river, a
and
big river.
and we have these things coming around our house. So, um, like Medicine Bear Claw was mentioning, I have a female Bigfoot that has attached herself to me, and she's followed me up here from Lawton. So, but it's not that hard for them to travel because that the creek that I mentioned, I have a video where I mentioned Wolf Creek. Well, Wolf Creek goes for miles and miles and miles and miles.
It's actually up here too.
Yeah, it's all the way up here and even past here. So from Crescent, Oklahoma down to Lawton, you're talking what was it, about 102, 103 miles?
I can't remember. A lot.
Yeah. But Wolf Creek also goes down to the Red River. It feeds into the lake around the Red River, feeds into the Red River. There's all kinds of dogman sightings along there, Bigfoot sightings. There's all kinds of cryptid sightings. North Texas.
Sorry. Sharon Kai asks if you think she's jealous of me.
Do you think she's jealous of? No. I don't think so. I think she was. I think she was. A lot of people are gonna laugh, but go ahead and make fun of me. I don't care. But I think she was attracted to me at one point. Is why she saved me from that other creature. But that doesn't exist anymore.
John, no.
No.
Okay. Old Bear's Den asks if you would like to do a show on his channel on February 21st or the 28th. I can't. You clicked it, so. Can we get a hold of you?
If you can get a hold of me in my messenger on Facebook, you can get a hold of me there, or you can go on my channel here on YouTube, O.C.S.T, Oklahoma Cryptid Search Team. I have my ways of contact, so but yeah, we can discuss that, or you can message me in the private chat.
That would be awesome.
Give me your contact.
And we're not joking. It was kind of a funny, but no jokes. Bigfoot does attach to people.
Yeah, and like Sharon Guy says, she probably was. That's why she saved you. Yeah. Before they popped out of nowhere, I had that smell. There was that smell in the air, which more than likely was pheromone that I smelled. So, I'm not going to say what it was for, because that'd be speculation. But that's what happened. There was a smell in the air of like a pheromone smell. And then there was also the things that happened weeks before they showed themselves, with me going to and from work and them shaking the apple trees and not showing anything. There's nothing standing there, nothing hiding, shaking the apple trees, but the apple trees are shaking and they stop when I ask them to stop. And that happened over and over again. And then when they came out and showed themselves, they were feeding on a plate of food that the neighbor left outside her shed. for her friends. So I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, I guess.
Laser. Your wife's a Bigfoot, Gus a Goonie Goo Goo. What? I'm sorry. I'm like, what?
And
Sorry.
Medicine Miracle. No, she not jealous. I believe she protect the body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not jealous. But
I mean, if she was jealous, she hasn't been mean. I mean, because
she's
jealous
been,
people get
she's been
things.
a kind creature.
Yeah,
she's not. The only thing she did that I didn't like was growling at my dog.
But are you sure it was her and not her children?
No, it was her.
Oh,
It was her. That was the picture I got immediately after she growled.
I
It was
know.
her.
I've seen it.
Yeah. But the other creature, the other Bigfoot that so there was two others that we've gotten so far on camera. One was in a video. We play it in slow motion in the video, and that was out at the parallel forest. Now you can see it's not an up close video. It's kind of ways off, probably about 40 yards, but you can see the gray Bigfoot, approximately about 8 feet tall. You can see it standing behind the trees, and it moves in the same direction I do after I snap the video.
That's the day I fell in the mud.
Yeah, that's the day you fell in the mud. But that's when you pointed out. You're like, take a picture over here because I feel something over here.
Yeah, and I was looking at the opposite direction. How does that even work?
And you were closer to it than I was. You were probably about 30 yards from it, and it was heading towards you. Then when I took the picture, it turned and went the same way I walked, because I walked off the other direction, and it followed me. And then shortly after that, we're taking the pictures of the uprooted trees.
Yeah, you could growl that.
And I leaned over and I say, yeah, these don't belong here. And all of a sudden, yeah, it growled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Leave my trees alone. Get away from them.
Let's see what
In my
blazer I have. Once I spent a fortune in razors and Maybelline, I started buying the horse makeup.
Maybelline. Oh my goodness.
Oh Lord.
Okay, we're missing so much in the chat. This is funny. No.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, post a link, see if anybody else wants to come up here and tell us their stories.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to come up and tell their first encounter?
Enter.
But there's the link. Remember, you just click on the link, and then when you get backstage, you can choose whether or not to keep the camera on,
or you can turn it off. See, turn it off.
Yeah. There's an option for you to turn the camera on and
Hi,
off.
Stevie B.
Hey, Stevie B. Good to see you. Yeah, y'all make sure you tune into Mogollon Monsters WTF. What's the fascination? Every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And Stevie B and Mogs
Russell Mogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mogs and Stevie B will be your hosts on there. Tune in to their show tomorrow night. We'll be there.
Just not on camera. Not unless Jim. Hey, Mogs.
Hey, there's Mogs.
Not unless Jim makes me get up there. Oh, you're welcome. Always.
Yeah. Stevie B.
I can't. I'm actually a cat that. What?
I'm
Okay.
actually a cat that learned how to type.
At least you know how to type, Blazer.
Because every time you type a letter, is meow, 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 meow.
Just remember, this show is for entertainment purposes only.
Blazer
Oh my
identifies
goodness.
as a cat. Yep.
I could say something, but I think I'm just gonna hush.
He goes through a ton of meow mix.
Okay, long hair or short hair?
Calico, tabby, what?
Oh my gosh, how did we get there? How did we get there? Oh my gosh. So what we're talking about for the people that just came in here is our first encounters and how it affected you mentally or physically or emotionally and yeah.
Yeah, Mogs spayed.
Or never
Or ask if he's spayed.
or neutered.
Are you spayed or neutered, Blazer?
Okay, this is
Do
like
you have all your shots?
oh my gosh. Somebody come back up. Somebody come up here and save me.
Were you taken in as a stray?
Do they treat you well?
Do you know how to use a litter pan?
Hi, Skylar. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Skylar. I'm still waiting on some new pictures of your Bigfoot experiences. If you've had any lately.
Blazer is an old barn cat.
Skylar asks, "Are you still a stray?"
You are. You both are too much. Well, we try.
Yeah. Yeah, he did wear your shirt on his show last night. Old Bear. It's pretty cool.
What? Oh, Mogs.
Yeah,
shirt?
he wore Old Bear's shirt.
Yeah, which was really weird seeing him in white. Anybody else have any meow terrific stories? See the cat pun there?
Yeah, any even cat dog.
Cat dog? Cat Bigfoot? Wait, is there any
Catman.
Catman? I know there's Batman. Is there a Catwoman? Meow. Wait, I'm gonna do that too loud. The dog start barking.
Yeah, that and Morris will start meowing.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Actually, I heard him just earlier. Well, that's good to know. We like good people.
No, the shirt looked good, Mogs. It looked good. everybody's just used to seeing you in a black t-shirt.
Dark colored
Yeah.
shirt. That'd be like me wearing white. Doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, 2 different kinds of Catwoman movies.
Yes.
Yeah, Old Bear has all kinds of Bigfoot encounters. Oh yeah.
Come on, old bear. You have to tell us something. Just put it in the left you a post.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll check it out. I'll get in contact with you. We can talk more about that subject.
Yeah, we have. We're doing a. I don't know. Can we say, or should we say? I think coming on AI mic.
Oh yeah. Those of y'all that know Abnormal Investigations, I will be or we if she decides to be
If
on
I
the show.
decide, because I don't know.
But we are scheduled to be on Abnormal Investigations on YouTube on February 10th. It's going to be a fun interview. So it'll be February 10th at 8 p.m. Central. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Those of you that tune into Abnormal Investigations, I can't wait to hang out with y'all in the chat again. It's always fun hanging out with y'all in the chat on that show. Same as hanging out with Mogs and Stevie B on theirs.
Yeah, Stevie, I may do it, but I don't have enough
Do it,
experience
Christy, do it.
to.
Yeah, you've been through.
I know, but
some
I
hairy
don't
situations,
have
though.
The experience like you do. I don't have the stories. He could go on about stories. I don't have any. I lead a very boring life. Not even kidding.
You've had a few things happen when you've gone out in the woods with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell a little bit.
Kind of like the
about
shadow
those.
figure that I saw a couple weeks ago that went walking.
See, that was your own experience there.
Walked in my backyard and I got up and there was nothing there. It's kind of like. You're home early. Was the outside light on?
Cammy's back from work.
Cammy's home, everybody. Say hi to Cammy. Yay, Cammy. Ooh, and she brings home goodies. Sorry. Muchas gracias. Look at you. Thank you, sister.
Yay. Okay. Trying got AI mod because they building homes and building everywhere. Here running the wildlife out into the neighborhood. I don't know. Let's see. Baked juice flavors. Sharon says hello.
Hi. Uncle John said hi.
Yep.
Hey, John. That sucks, sister. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna post the link again if anybody wants to come up here and join us on screen. You're more than welcome to. Again, you don't have to show your face. There is an option to shut the camera off.
So, Cammy's a little frustrated tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. She works. Okay, for those who don't know, my daughter and son live at the house, and my future son-in-law. And Cammy went to work today, and she works at a Mexican restaurant. And she said that she's a waitress, and she said she busted her ass off and only $20. She's not happy.
Yeah.
So that sucks for Cammie. Because we're saving up to get married and can't really do that when you don't make good tip. So
yeah, they don't pay
so
wait staff
anyway,
enough.
that's just a little bit of our life.
One of the most stressful jobs to do, and you don't get paid enough to do it.
Well, a lot of jobs you don't get paid enough to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not cryptid related, but just wanted to let you guys know.
Well, we don't just talk about cryptid stuff on here.
See, that's no bueno. But yeah. Hey Moggs, what do you think of our backdrop? I wanted to show it to you. Isn't that cool?
It's cool. Oh yeah, I got something I want to show everybody real quick.
Don't leave me. Oh wait, where are you going?
I'm going to my media real quick.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to show everybody the
Old bear.
old bear.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Good to meet you.
Good to see y'all.
I'm trying to bring up a picture. This background picture here. There was something in it that I hadn't noticed. Let's see. Okay, it's not gonna
let us.
No. I'll have to post it after the show when I find the picture on my phone. But over in the left hand corner, let me see if I'll take this
off.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's not gonna work. Anyway.
Yeah, it's where my face is on screen. There's on the left hand side of the X, it looks like there's something peeking out from the tree. But I don't know why I hadn't noticed that. I took that picture
when or where we took that
I
picture?
think it was in September of last year. Yeah, it was in September of last year. Well, anyways, I'll look up that picture and blow it up and see what I can get out of it. But yeah.
So, how are you tonight, old bear?
Oh, I'm doing all right. At least it ain't minus 3 degrees or 3 above. That's a good part.
Anything above 0 is good, right? Especially this time of year.
This time of year, anything above 30 is great.
Anything above 30 is great.
Yeah, we're at what right now?
47, I think. Oh, Cammie says it's humid outside. Oh, it's been raining.
Yeah, 48 degrees.
So
and
much
humid.
fog. Yeah.
Rainy. It's a lot better than 2 degrees and snowy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm tired of all the cold weather. I drive truck and it's not been a good winter.
No,
I wouldn't think so.
No, I wouldn't enjoy being out in that. I mean, a lot of it's pretty, but once you drive on it, it's like no.
Especially not when you're 80,000 pounds. It ain't no fun.
True.
I sure did.
Let's see. We must be started. Talk about. Oh. I'm missing a lot in the chat, but try to catch up. So, do you have any? Would you want to share like your first cryptid experience if you like?
Yeah, sure. It's no problem. Most everybody on here knows about it. I was 16 years old at the time. I was deer hunting here in the state of West Virginia with my dad,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a place we always used to go to deer hunt. And it was unseasonably warm. It was in the 60s,
Uh-huh.
and I walked about a mile out from where my dad parked the truck and sat down a couple of benches from the road down the hillside, and within about 15 feet or so of a large boulder. And I had three does that came running out from behind the boulder from in a holler that was to my left.
Yeah.
And they had been run pretty hard. So it's that time of year when the male deer are chasing the female deer. And they stood around for probably 10 or 15 seconds. And then they bolted off again. And they never saw me or smelled me because the wind was coming up the hill
Yeah.
from the holler to the top of the hill at that time of the day. And it was like 2:30 in the afternoon.
Oh,
And
yeah.
probably another 5 minutes or so went by. And I heard what sounded to me at the time at age 16 sounded like a buck deer grunting. And so at that point, I put my rifle up to my shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and my rifle was a Model 94 30-30 Winchester.
Hmm.
And at half cock is the safety on it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm watching, I'm looking, and I'm thinking, okay, this buck's going to step out soon. I can hear something stepping in the leaves. It was kind of loud for a whitetail, but I thought it may have been an old buck or something like that when they got a big body, big chest.
Right.
And, well, it wasn't a whitetail. This creature steps out at 8 foot tall, between 7.5 to 8 foot tall, reddish chestnut collared hair. He had a scar that come down across his face on his left eye. And when he stepped out, he was breathing real heavy. And he stopped when he stepped out from behind the boulder at
Right.
about 20 feet. And he was standing there and he was looking out the way the deer had ran.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden, he just kind of stopped, breathing and everything, turned to his right and looked right at me and got a big shocked look on his face like,
Mhm.
where did you come from?
I know that look. Yeah.
And at that point, I'm sitting there going, nah, that's not a deer. That's definitely not a deer I've ever seen. And that's no bear, because I've seen bear from a young age.
Yeah.
I live in West Virginia, and I was born and raised here, and I've seen bear, when I was 6 years old.
Wow.
I'm 16, so I've seen bear in my life, and I know that's not bear, and I know it's not a human being because no human being is that tall or that wide.
Right.
Like I said, he's 7.5, 8 foot tall. He's probably 4 foot, 4.5 foot at the shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
the outside of the arms, and he's full muscles. His biceps look like my thighs, and
Yeah.
I got big thighs. His his arms is big around as my calves,
Hmm.
and I'm 225 pounds, 16-year-old football player. You know, I've hunted all my life. You know, I started hunting when I was 7, so you know there was no question in my mind that this was some other kind of animal.
Right.
Right.
And I never knew about Bigfoot. The only thing I'd ever heard about Bigfoot was the year before, after the last day of rifle season here in West Virginia. They used to put movies on at
Mhm.
like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and The Legend of Boggy Creek came on.
Oh yeah.
And my dad said, "You can watch this if you want." And I was sitting there watching it, and with him, and my grandmother had already went to bed. My mom had went to bed. Now this is 9:30 at night, and we're watching this movie. Just me and my dad's there. My little brother, you know, little brothers, they're always off doing something. And at the end of the movie, I looked at my dad, and he said, "Well, it's time to go to bed." And I said, "Dad, are those things real?" My dad said, "No, that's just Hollywood, son. Don't worry about it."
Hmm.
A year later, one steps out from behind a boulder.
Mm-hmm.
And once it turned completely towards me, it probably had that surprised look on its face, maybe 10, 15 seconds at the most. And then it curled its lips and bared its teeth and started growling at me.
Wow.
And it took a step towards me. So now, instead of being 20 feet, it's probably about 15 feet away. And the first thing that clicks in my head at that time at 16 is this thing's going to kill me or it's going to hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
And it went to take a second step, and midway through the step, I clicked the hammer on that 30-30 rifle. And it's an audible click. I mean, you can hear it.
Yeah.
And it stopped mid stride and still growling at me, still baring its teeth, lips curled. It's standing there on one leg with one in the air. And it just kind of retracts its foot, sets its foot down real slow and easy. And it shut its mouth.
Uh-huh.
And then it turned at its waist to the left, to the right, looked back at me, and then took off running to the right, back behind the boulder.
So
Wow.
it knew what that click was.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
knows. I mean, they live here in West Virginia. I'm pretty sure they've been shot at a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But it ran about 200 yards back into the hollow, and I got up to the road. It didn't bother me at this point. And when I hit the gravel road, I guess it heard the gravel and it screamed at me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it shook me from my back to the front of my chest. I could feel it.
Yeah.
And now I was trained by ex-Army. My uncles were ex-Army. They taught me how to shoot. My dad always told us you never go anywhere with a gun on on fire, or
Right.
where
Yep.
it's clicked on, the safety's clicked off or anything.
Yep.
I walked all the way back to where my dad was at, a mile up the road, with that hammer all the way back,
Yeah.
knowing that knowing in my mind that this thing was going to come after me, and I would need that split second to either save my life
Right.
or let my dad know where to find me.
Right.
And so I got all the way almost to the truck, and my dad stepped up out of the woods. He said, "What are you back for?" I said, "Dad, I want to go home." Now, I'm a 16-year-old kid. I was the biggest kid at that time. I had an older brother, a younger brother, and a sister, and I was the biggest one of us all. And my dad looked at me and he said, "Is that gun on full? Is that gun ready to fire?" I said, "Yeah, Dad. I want to go home." And he looked at me and he said, "I'll tan your hide." I said, "Dad, I don't want to talk about it. I want to go home now." And you don't talk to your parents that way the way I was raised.
Right.
You never demand your parents to do anything. And he just kind of looked at me and he shook his head and he said, "Why you want to go home?" I said, "Dad, I want to go home, but I'm going to talk about it." And I walked over to the back. We had a K5 Blazer. I walked to the back of it, rolled the window down, emptied the gun, put the bullets in the case, didn't put them in the box. Now, I was taught to do that every time.
Mm-hmm.
Put the rifle in the case. I took my hat off, took my blaze orange vest off,
Mm-hmm.
walked around, got in the passenger seat, and said, "Dad, let's go home now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go now." My dad shook his head, walked over to the back of the Blazer, unloaded his 30-06, put everything away like he always has, shut the tailgate, rolled the window up, got in the driver's seat. He said, "Why are you wanting to go home?" I said, "Dad, I need to go home now."
Yeah.
And he looked at me real funny and he said, "All right, fine." Pulled the keys out, put the keys in ignition, started it, let it warm up a little bit because back then we had a Holly 4-barrel carburetor on top of a 350.
Oh,
They're
wow.
cold natured as all get out.
Yeah.
Even when it's 60 degrees, you still got to let it warm up or it won't run.
Yep.
We drove back out the ridge, and when we got near to where this happened, now he knew where I was at. And when we got within probably 100, 150 yards of where I went over the hill,
Mm-hmm.
I slid into the floorboard and locked the passenger door. And my dad looked at me and said, "What are you doing?" I'm not, no. And I'm sitting there and I'm starting to cry. Now, you don't cry. A man doesn't cry is what we were taught.
Right.
Right.
That's the sign of being a man. You don't cry about anything. You know, I played in football games, broke fingers, dislocated fingers, and the coach just put them back in place, and I
Mm-hmm.
go back out on the next play.
Yep.
You know, you just didn't pay attention to pain. You just went and did what you were supposed to do. My dad got us all the way back to the interstate. And by that point, I knew he was mad. He pulled off side the road and pulled his belt out
Yeah.
off his waist. He said, "You're going to tell me what's going on, or you're going to get this belt." That's a leather belt. And he wasn't playing games. My dad was about 5'8". You know, he didn't have a big body build. He wasn't heavy set. You know, he was 5'8", thin guy. Um, and he commanded respect.
Yeah.
And at that point, I looked at him and I said, "Dad, you're not going to believe what I tell you." And he just looked at me real funny. He said, "You tell me the truth and you won't get in trouble. You lied to me. I'm going to beat your butt right here." And I never lied to my parents. I mean, you were taught never to lie. You know, I got a butt spanking one time for lying to my mom. That's all it took.
Way of making you
Yeah.
pay attention.
And Dad just kind of looked at me. He said, "All right, tell me what's going on." I said, "You remember that movie from last year that Legend of Boggy Creek me and you watched that Saturday night after the deer season was over? He said, yeah. Why? I said, well, one of them just walked out from behind that big boulder out there on the second bench down
Mm-hmm.
where I told you I was going to be. He said, son, those are not real. I said, Dad, that was 100% real, and it was thinking about eating me. He said, do what? I said, Dad, I'm not lying. And I told him everything that happened. My dad got out of the truck, put his belt back on, got back in the truck, and got on the interstate. And the only words that were said, we got 2 exits down towards Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
He looked at me and he said, never tell your mother and never tell your grandmother. Because if you do, we'll never go hunting again. And nothing, I never said a word to my parent, to my grandmother or my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out, in 2018, my dad told me what him and my uncle had saw at a place called Low Water Bridge on the Little Kanawha River.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And they saw one, and that's why he believed me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
But-
at least he believed you, and not like you're talking out of your tail. You know what I mean? He believed
Right.
you, so at least you didn't get a butt whooping.
I think I would have rather taken a butt whipping than seeing one of these for the first time at 16.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. It's like when you talked about the expression on that creature's face, you know, same thing happened with me when they first came out of the darkness from behind the storage shed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had the same look on my face as they did, and it was all like, you know, like, wow. You know, they couldn't believe I'm standing there. I can't believe that they're standing there, you know. Especially the Bigfoot, the female Bigfoot. Her facial expression was like, you know, you do exist. You know how they have that where Bigfoot's meeting Santa Claus, and look, you do exist.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it's the M&Ms.
Yeah, the commercial of the M&Ms, but there's a meme where Bigfoot was meeting Santa Claus, but this dogman creature though, to get that emotion out of it, with it not having as much human feature to it, was amazing in itself.
Right.
But the Bigfoot, I mean, there's no mistaking when you're that close, like as close as you were and as close as I was. There's no mistaking what it was. If you've been around animals out in the forest before, you've been around a bear, you know the difference between a bear and an ape.
Yeah.
You know, and these things are much bigger than an ape.
Oh yeah.
In most aspects. So, you know, much bigger than a bear and much bigger than an ape. So, it's just amazing how you can get so close to these things. And you know, a lot of people will say, well, you lucked out. Well, yeah, maybe we did, you know, maybe we did, but we survived being that close to a creature that you know, in the folklore, those things are supposed to tear you apart, not give you a chance, you know. In my studies of these creatures, is the majority of them, you know, they don't care Um, if you're human, they don't care if you're. It's happenstance. If you're in their way, if one was to hop out in the middle of nowhere and attack you, um, there's a reason why they would do something like that. These creatures, to me, don't seem like the kind that will just attack outright. Unless there's, it's the same as a human being. There are some human beings out there that are not right in the head, and they'll, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, any creature, in the history of the world, you have your good and you have your bad,
Right.
and these creatures get uh, categorized as monsters. They're not monsters. They're just uh, creatures that aren't understood because for one thing, everybody's like, well, we need a body. Well, no, we don't need a body. We didn't need a body for hundreds of years with people talking about the panda bear.
Hmm.
Those people didn't need to produce a body. Everybody saw it. Everybody
Right.
saw it up in the mountains, and then somebody comes along and actually gets footage of one, and then all of a sudden, okay, it does exist. Why can't it be that way with the Bigfoot?
Well, after doing this for 35 years and having 38 sightings and studying a clan for 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you exactly why.
Mm-hmm.
Money.
Yep.
It all is based on an almighty dollar.
Yep. Money is the root of all evil.
The federal government will lose billions of dollars every year in tax money, and industries will have to shut down. Our way of life will change forever, and nobody wants that.
Right.
I enjoy going out on and going with my grandsons, my son, my brothers, uh, other family members. I enjoy going out and having fun with them during the rifle season here in West Virginia. I hardly ever shoot a deer anymore.
Oh,
I just go to spend time with my grandsons.
Right.
I go to give them candy and send them home with their daddy in the evening of them all hyped up on candy and pop. That's grandpa's job.
Yeah.
And that would end. All that stuff everybody talks about, well, you got to have a body. Well, I'm sorry. With all the evidence that is out there, the footprints, you've got hair, you've got DNA, you have feces, you have pictures of Bigfoot, and it's not every picture of Bigfoot is blurry. I'm sorry, people. There's a
Right.
bunch of pictures that people have that are not blurry.
Right.
Old pictures of Bigfoot that were taken with Polaroids, 35 millimeter cameras, 8 millimeter film. All those pictures, they're not blurry.
Right.
he just aged himself.
Yeah, well, everybody knows I'm old. I don't care.
I'm just
But
giving you a hard
it's the
time.
thing. It's the thing of it is all this evidence that we have to date
Mm-hmm.
of Bigfoot
Mhm.
would convict someone of murder.
Right.
But you can't, you got science. The federal government doesn't want any of this put out. They don't want to admit to these creatures because they know what'll happen. Somebody will take them to court. They'll have to make all the national forest, state parks, every bit of that will have to be habitat for them.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong. We're the dominant species. I understand you want to keep animals on this earth and you want to preserve the ecosystem. I get all that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But these creatures can be 2-year-olds that weigh 1,000 pounds,
Yep.
and you just took their toy away from them.
Yep.
And I've done multiple investigations of people's homes, having to force these creatures to quit coming to their house because they want to come and look and see, you know, they want to come and watch you because of your TV, or they want to come and eat your dog food or cat food off the porch, or you left hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill and didn't take them in. They come and eat that stuff.
Yep.
They come to your house because you did something. Either you left trash out, or you left food out, or you did something else that enticed them to come down there. And people don't know this. They don't pay attention to it.
Right.
Oh, raccoon got it. How
Right.
did raccoon break all the steps?
Just like the one that left us the moles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We had. Well,
So
I'll let him tell the story, but
Well, you know, we had a pretty good mole problem in the yard, and you know, I'm not wanting to dig up the whole yard and
mhm.
these things, and you know, so I'm like, what do I want to gift the Bigfoot that's been coming around? So I'm like, I'm sitting there and I tell her, I'm like, I'm gonna ask these things to get rid of the moles. And sure enough, not even a whole day later, it was
like
we
a little bit later that night.
were what going on.
I don't know where we were going.
We were on Mokes and Stevie B's show, WTF. Well, I go outside and there's a mole on the front step, and he's squished like he's been stepped on by something real heavy. And I'm like, oh, thank you. You know, because I had asked these things to leave me a mole, you know, help get rid of it. And then a few weeks later, did it again.
They did it again.
After I'd asked them again because the yard was still getting dug up. Well, yeah, that took care of the mole problem because we don't have any more moles.
Keep in mind, we also have what, 2 cats, or at that time we had 2 cats
at the
outside.
time we had 2 cats.
Now we have 3, but that's a little different story. But
And
anyway, we have cats outside.
The cats didn't bring us the moles because one thing, they're fraidy cats, but you know, the first mole was squished by something really heavy, and it was placed on the 3rd step. The second mole was just down at the bottom of the steps, not squished, but there were no bite marks. No bite marks in it. And I noticed its head was kind of, you know, off a little bit. So obviously it snapped its neck. But let's see. Then we had the incident where I'm taking my dog out to go to the bathroom, and I take her into the backyard. Well, I take her to the backyard, and it's pitch black dark back there. Well, all of a sudden, you know, she starts pointing. You know, she's that kind of dog. She's the
German Shepherd,
Gerberian Shepsky. Well, anyways, you know, she's got a little bit of hunting dog in her, so she's pointing, and I'm like, "What is it?" And she starts growling and barking and going towards the back side where there's the trees. Well, we take 2 steps forward towards those trees, and all of a sudden we hear, and she goes off, and I'm like, "Oh, no." I pull her back, and I'm like, "You're not eating my dog."
Yeah. Well, they do that too. You know, I've done investigations at people's houses for them, and I had to deal with troublesome Bigfoot um, that have eaten their cats, eaten all their chickens, their geese,
Hmm.
the dogs. They've killed a horse or they've killed a cow and ate it. You know, I've been in those situations where they're aggressive, and you have to be aggressive with them. But then I've been in situations where they're just coming to the house, looking in your windows, and people freak out.
Hmm.
And you have to set boundaries for these creatures, and setting up lights, doing non-aggressive stuff works.
Hmm.
But I've also seen the Bigfoot that will eat us
Yeah.
or eat their own kind,
Yeah.
and you know I've had to deal with them. It's been a it has been a roller coaster ride for 35 years,
That's cool.
and I enjoy it. I enjoy going out with people. I enjoy going. We got a thing this spring in a place called Salt Fort,
Oh yeah.
and we'll be up there from Thursday till Sunday.
Where's
Yeah.
that located?
Salt Fort State Park in Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they got the grass man up there.
Yeah. They
They got
got
a little bit of an attitude towards people.
Ah.
But
Yeah.
and I can and we'll go up there and we'll do investigations. You know, we'll go out bigfooting at night, and I'll go out and do howls for everybody and try to get them to come in, and I'll try to tick off a big male and make him come in and challenge.
Hmm.
But it's all part of the fun for me.
So, how far of a drive is it for you to go up to Ohio?
I can be there in about an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're located like north central Oklahoma. Um,
Yeah, I know where you are.
yeah. Uh,
I'm over the road.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So we're about a half hour north of Oklahoma City.
Yeah. And I started out in Southwest Oklahoma doing
Mhm.
my cryptid research, and down there they call them hairy man.
Mhm.
They're more elusive than anything else, so they don't like to be seen down there. They uh, they they run with Dogman down there more
Yeah.
than in most areas in Oklahoma. Um, I've told everybody that Lake Latonka, that area, per
Mhm.
capita has the most Dogman sightings in the world. You know, and there have been a few sightings within the last few years, where people were out boating on the lake, and they saw at the base of Mount Scott, which is the mountain you can drive up,
Mhm.
scenic view. They actually saw two dogmen and a Bigfoot running together,
Right.
and I'm like, well, yeah. Every time I've seen a Bigfoot, there's a dogman like creature that's been right near every single time, and that was down there. Now up
Right.
here, I haven't seen the dogman yet up here, but I haven't gotten a chance to really get out beyond where I'm living right now. That'll change soon, but right now, it's the female that I've been told followed me up from Lawton, which she does look like the one that I um,
Encountered.
Yeah. No dogman with her, but she's had three juveniles, and the juveniles, when I first started seeing them, they were about 2.5, 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
Now they're up more towards my height. I'm 5'8". So, I've only been here
Since August.
since August. So, they've grown quite a bit, and they're really mischievous. They
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. This coming August, it'll be 3 years ago. We were there at Salt Fork on was that Friday night?
Mm-hmm.
No, we were there on a Thursday. Thursday night. We got up there Thursday night late, and we were all sitting. No, it was Friday night. I'm sorry, it was Friday night. We were sitting there around the campfire. There was about 20 of us there.
Yeah.
And my wife was sitting to my left, and she kept poking me in the arm and trying to get my attention. I finally looked over and I said, "What?" She said, "Do you see those 3 little Bigfoot down there around the camper?" And we have an orange light on the outside of our camper. And she saw them. She'd been sitting there watching them for 4 or 5 minutes or so. And they were just playing around underneath that orange light underneath our canopy. And she finally got my attention. When I looked down there, they had done took off.
Oh, you missed them.
I don't care about seeing the little ones. She likes them. She thinks they're cute.
Well,
And about 5 minutes later, I looked down at our camper and I saw movement out of my right eye. And I looked at a friend of ours' tent, and inside of his tent, he had one of those battery operated lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
He had it lit up inside of his tent. And this 7-foot tall female, and you could definitely tell she was female, stepped out from behind this huge white oak tree. I mean, it would take 3 or 4 people to reach around it.
Mm-hmm.
And she stepped out from behind it, and she was looking at our camper. I guess the little ones had retreated into the brush behind our camper. And she just stood there, and I went, "Hey, did you bring your wife with you?" I was talking to the guy that was behind me that I had been talking to. He said, "No." "Why?" I said, "Look at your tent." And when I said that, he's jumped up. And when he jumped up, she had walked behind the tree. She went running out from behind the tree, and he saw her run across the campground into the woods on the other side
Mm-hmm.
that goes right down into the swamp
Oh yeah.
part of the lake. And then the next night, which was Saturday night, it must have been around 10 o'clock. They had a meeting with their group,
Mm-hmm.
and we were there, and we talked to quite a few people and listened to other people's encounters and stuff like that. And about 10 o'clock, it broke up, and everybody kind of left, except for the ones that were camping there. And we were sitting around the bonfire that they build every time they have a meeting. And my wife looks at me and goes, "You gonna do your call?" I hadn't planned on it. She said, "You're doing your call." And then that got everybody started. "You do your howl." "Okay, fine." "You know what you're starting, right?" She said, "I know." "Okay." So I got up, I walked about 10 feet to my left, and the howl I do is called from a friend of mine that got scared and jumped 3 feet up and 3 foot to the right when I did this owl the first time in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
He nicknamed it the Constipated Hillbilly. It's about 20 to 30 seconds long.
Oh yeah.
It's got a lot of growl in it. It's an intimidation call. You try to intimidate the alpha male in the clan,
Mm-hmm.
and I did the call. And I walked back over and I sit down. I said, "Now y'all deal with the consequences." And I just sit there and shut up. It wasn't 30 seconds. We started hearing stomping coming towards us.
Oh
And
my
then it started growling. It was not happy. It got outside, just outside the view from the campfire. There was a couple sitting over on this side
Mm-hmm.
to my left. They actually got up, moved their chairs around towards their left. They got a little bit scared. And my wife looked at me and said, "You gonna deal with that?" No. Y'all want to see a Bigfoot? This is perfect time.
Yeah.
She's like, "I don't want to see the big ugly ones. I like the little ones. I don't like the big ugly ones." Yes, dear. So I got up and I had to do a growl slash huff at this male Bigfoot,
Mm-hmm.
and he stopped and he still growled and he stomped his feet all the way around just inside the wood line around the campground and wouldn't come in any further. And then we heard a whoop from, I suspect, the same female we saw the night before that
Uh-huh.
was running the little ones off, whooped at him, and he answered her, and he went to her. So yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah. Yeah, you got some great
You've got
stories
some
there.
cool stories, man. That's
Um,
awesome.
Yeah. I'll get in touch with you, and we can talk more about getting on your show, and yeah,
That'd be
because
great.
I've got a lot more to talk about. I'm trying to piece it out, because
Mhm.
Coming up with ideas for shows every week is starting to.
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you basically what we'll do is I'll come on, I'll start the show, and what we'll do is we'll do that, and then I'll bring you on, and I'll bring both of you on at the same time.
Yeah.
Y'all can do it from the same thing. It's on StreamYard. You know how to work it.
Yeah.
It's simple and it's easy. And we'll just talk about your first encounter for a little while,
Yeah.
and then whatever you want to talk about from that point on. You want to ask me questions. I've seen 38 of these things and over 35 years, and it's been fun to watch and learn them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm at the stage now where I want to help people understand these creatures,
Right.
know what they should and shouldn't do if they see one,
Right.
and just give them what I've learned over the years. And that's the reason I want you guys to come on, because you have a different aspect, than the Eastern Bigfoot. You
Right.
have the Midwest and the
Right.
South. They're a little bit different. Um, I've been to Texas, I've been to Oklahoma, driving through.
Yeah.
I've stayed overnight in Oklahoma a few times. Had to do a 34-hour reset in Oklahoma once.
Wow.
I didn't like that too much because it started snowing.
Yeah.
But
What's wrong with Oklahoma? moment. No, I'm just teasing.
No, it was cold.
Let's see.
It was blue cold.
Cold.
Yeah.
Don't get cold.
Yeah.
That Oklahoma wind ain't no joke.
No,
Oh no.
the real sweeping down the plane. It's for real. The song. Yeah, it sweeps down the plane for real.
But
Yeah,
that's
you
why I
got
want to
like-
bring y'all on, because your different aspect about, Bigfoot that you've seen. You've seen enough of them, and you know what you're looking at, and that's why I want to bring you on.
Oh, well,
Oh yeah. Well,
thanks. I mean,
I definitely look forward to it. Definitely do.
oh, okay. Wait. Figgy asks, can you ask Old Bear how can he tell the difference between the Wanoska and the other
Janoskwa.
non-violent Bigfoot?
Well, the Janoskwa, which I consider them a type 5, because I've listed 5 different types of Bigfoot. The Janoskwa looks like a walking demon. Their
Mhm.
faces are always cut up. Ears are probably shredded. Their nose is probably cut, split, deformed. Their eyes typically are solid black. They can have fangs, but their teeth are always broken up and jagged, because all they ever eat is meat.
Yeah.
They kill their own kind. And they
those are
typically
usually,
have long nails and stuff like that on their hands.
those you usually spotted in what area? Of the
I've gotten reports of Janoskwa being in every state in the U.S. except for Hawaii.
okay. Yeah.
So they run.
I haven't run into one of those yet.
Be glad.
Yeah. We've gotten a lot of reports of the Googway in southeast Oklahoma, but
They're easy to deal with.
But we went down to southeast Oklahoma. We got invited down there to go to the Bigfoot Museum and hung out in the woods with a few researchers. Didn't see nothing. Didn't see nothing that day. Heard stuff, but
I didn't see nothing but my door locking.
yeah, she didn't want to get out of the van. But I was sitting around the campfire with a couple of my buddies, and I actually heard something from the other side of the van whisper out to me, "I'm here." And nobody else heard it. I pointed out where it was. They checked with the night vision and the infrared and all that. Couldn't see nothing. But then not too long after that, there was something that was circling the north side of the camp. That's the closest we got to seeing anything. But all the reports that we've gotten from friends over in there about the size of the Bigfoot, even the size is just enormous.
Show that question right there.
This
That
one
one right there. Yeah.
Okay, Penguin P says, have you seen anything with them that leads you to believe that they have supernatural powers?
You want me to answer that?
Yeah, sure.
38 sightings. Never seen one walk into a portal. Never seen them start shimming and disappear. They, as far as I know, they have no supernatural power.
Right. Yeah, I have seen. I've gotten pictures of things that you could possibly claim that could be the start of a portal, but I've never seen one go in or out of a portal. I've seen them walk behind a tree and disappear.
Yep. They're good at that.
Yeah. But I'm not running up there to see if they're still behind the tree or not.
But I would.
I mean, I would if it was just me. I would,
Right, right.
but if I'm like taking her out in the
What are you
woods
saying?
with me, I don't want to freak her out.
Well, I got a 5 foot tall wife. Well, she's actually 4'11", but she says she's 5 foot. But she carries a big handgun with her, so she's my backup if I need it.
Packages.
Yeah.
Okay, so Figgy also says, thanks. Any mind speak? Or I'm not sorry, not Figgy, but Penguin P. I'm sorry.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, any mind speak.
No, I've never had one speak to me in that way.
Well, like I was saying earlier in the show, I actually had I can't say it was a Bigfoot that spoke to me, but something told me not to go. I mean, it wasn't my mind thinking that. It's something actually spoke to me where I could hear it. I don't know if anybody else heard it because there was nobody else around me, but something said, "Stop, turn around, don't go in there," But other than that, I haven't had any communication except for the one growling at my dog.
Well, I've heard him make uh, a multitude of sounds, uh, and they are great at imitating a lot of different animals.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to say, "Well, there's no way that these creatures can do that. They have vocal cords the same as we do.
Mm-hmm.
They think on our level, people.
Yeah.
Um, they can imitate our language.
Yeah.
I've gotten reports of them saying a dog's name to get the dog to come into the woods where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've done investigations where I've heard them what sounds like a human voice, but it is super low and super gravelly.
Right.
I mean, it's real deep, and the word is kind of drawn out because they don't understand how we talk completely,
Right.
but they can try to imitate us and sound like us.
Right.
And I mean, I've talked to other investigators. There's one in Pennsylvania. We love this lady completely. She's a great investigator on Bigfoot, and she's heard them repeat the same thing that she said to her chickens.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I've heard the growls. I've heard the whoops. I've heard the imitation of owls. I've heard that,
Mhm.
and it's like you said, they tended to draw it out, especially
Yep.
towards the end. They draw that sound out, and that's how you can tell if it's not a human or a coyote or an owl.
Mhm.
Because
Yep.
they can imitate it pretty close, but they always draw it out.
Yeah. It's got that extension on the end. And the funny thing is, everything's on one baseline. It's always down here in the basement. It's
Mm-hmm.
never got the inflection that the actual animals make.
Right. And that's another way you can tell the difference.
Right.
We have an owl that hangs around here, and these Bigfoot, they're always imitating that owl.
Mm-hmm.
Always, and that owl makes a game out of it. They're hooting back and forth, it's entertaining a lot of times. It's really entertaining. I've gotten them on order doing it, and then they stop because they know they're being recorded, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had that, and then we've had a Bigfoot actually take calf. Took a calf away from its mother a few months
Behind
ago.
us, yeah.
Yeah, out behind us, there's a whole bunch of cattle. They,
Mm-hmm.
Mama, oh man, she got so pissed. She got so
Oh
pissed.
yeah.
She was probably mourning for about a month and a half.
Yeah.
Calf got taken, but I heard that calf get swooped up, and then that mama went crazy.
Oh yeah. It freaks them out really bad.
Yeah,
Well, guys, I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to hop off here.
yeah,
I got to get up at about 4.5, 5 hours
Oh,
yeah.
my
to go to work.
Well, it was awesome hearing from you, and
It was good to meet you.
it's
It's good meeting you.
And yeah, like I said, we'll get in touch with you and plan all that out. And
Okay.
so you have a great evening.
Sleep well.
Sleep well.
All righty.
All right.
Y'all have a blessed evening. We'll talk to you guys later. All
You
righty.
too. You
Bye-bye.
too.
All right. Bye bye.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Old
Yeah.
Bear for coming up here and talking, and I'd like to also thank everybody in the chat for hanging out.
Yeah, it's great seeing everybody and new people.
Yeah.
Tell your friends, share, subscribe, like this, or share it out, please, just to help us out. Leave comments. We like comments. Yes, we
Yeah.
sure do.
Like, comment, share,
Subscribe.
and hit that notification bell.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and get off here, and we'll be in WTF tomorrow night with Mogs and Stevie B. We'll be at least be in the chat.
Yeah.
So hope to see y'all there at 9:00 Eastern. You can see us here, O.C.S.T, Bigfoot and stuff. You can see us here every Wednesday at 8:00 Central, 9:00 Eastern. Till next week.
Keep squatching.
Y'all have a good night.
Bye.
Early music fills